All right, so welcome back. We are still considering Cambridge IELTS 14, test 1, reading passage 3, and we are considering the passage is all about motivational factors and the hospitality industry. Okay, so moving on to question 32 to 35, we actually had a discussion earlier on for those who will be watching this recorded video. We talked about question 27 to 31, why they were true, because we had to rush the initial one, okay? So now moving on to question 32 to 35, which is yes, no, not given. I really enjoy this. I enjoyed this question a lot. A lot of people shy and are scared because of this question. But the answer to whatsoever you have in true, false, not given, or yes, no, not given, I will say again, is in this box that I annotated. So it is yes if the statement agrees, the statement agrees with the claims of the writer, okay? It is no if the statement contradicts, so if it is the exact opposite, if there is a contrary information given in the passage, differ from what we have here, so it will be no. It will be not given if it is impossible to say what the writer thinks about this. So that means there is no information, the information in the passage that specifically addressed, that looks like the statement we have in the question. The statement in the passage does not agree. They are not the same meaning. We are not looking for the same words. We are not looking for synonyms. We are looking for phrases, clauses, sentences with the same meaning, okay? Now, and it is not also opposite. All right, so have that in mind as we look at question 32 to 35. All right, so like I said earlier on, while we were reading through the passage initially, we went through the passage looking for specific paragraph information. But as you will discover that to answer these other questions after that, you don't need to waste your time. You must have come across that as something that looks like it. All right, so we'll put that into practice. Quick tips, I think I need to remind us again. Yes, no, not given are always in order. So that is beautiful. So once you find question 32, you know that the answer to question 32, the answer to question 33 is just right under it. It can't be above it, okay? So that should tell you it makes sense, right? Okay, but then the reason why I find that interesting is because, for instance, if I find it difficult to find the answer to question 32, and I could find the answer to question 33, okay, I know the answer to 32 is anything above where I found the answer to question 33. Very important, okay? So having said that, let's look at question 32. So like I said, they're in order. Once I find one, I'm good to go looking for others. So 32 says one reason. So very important in yes, no, not given, because we are looking for same meaning. So one reason, so there might be many reasons, but one reason for high staff turnover. So when we talk about employment recruitment, turnover means staff are leaving the company or organization, okay? High staff turnover in the hospitality industry is poor morale, okay? Probably they are not treating people well, okay? So we are looking for one reason for high staff turnover in the hospitality industry is poor morale. Okay, so let's start. So we've read through this passage earlier on. So we'll just look for where they talk about reasons, where they started talking about staff turnover. So, and you will find out that I think they started talking about, okay, so let me annotate that. Wow. So if you remember, we've read through all these plays. But let me start from here, just not to waste your time, because they talk about low compensation here, all right, which is okay, poor morale. We are looking for poor morale. That means they are not being motivated. Where are you? Yeah, so look at this. Morale is dead. Although that is the same word, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for same meaning, okay? But because I find this, I'm going to read around that word. Okay, so Lucas also points that normally I should just come here. So in addition, or maybe as a result, high employee turnover, you can see it's looking like I've hit my jackpot, has been a recurring problem throughout the hospitality industry. Among the many cited reasons, you can see there are many reasons. Okay, among the many cited reasons are low pay, inadequate benefits, poor working conditions, and compromised employee morale and attitudes. All right, so I'm going to allow you. So now, no doubt we have found something related to that question. So I'm going to allow you to think through it. Yes, I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself and people should respond. So now, the information in the passage is, if we were to look at it, among the many cited reasons are low, blah, 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 and compromise. So among many reasons is compromise employee morale and attitude. So what does that mean? That is, there is low morale here, okay, is compromised and attitude, okay? So now I need you to say, is this statement, is it a yes? So one reason for high staff turnover in the hospitality industry is poor morale. Is it yes, no, or not given?
Is yes.
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 Okay. Okay, so I'll quickly mute you again because of background noise. Yeah. Now you can see that looks straightforward. But now, all you need to answer yes, no, not given is finding the information in the passage. That is your first challenge. Once you find that, then you now apply this principle. You now come back to this. The statement I found, does it agree with what we have read in the passage? So very straightforward. This one is yes. It agrees with the writer's claim. Okay, the writer has said that there are many reasons, and one of them is low morale, poor morale, compromised employee morale and attitude. Very simple. Okay. Now, moving on to 33. I know that the answer to 33 is right here, under it, somewhere here, not up here. It can't be up here. Okay. So, research, so a study had found out that staff have a tendency to dislike their workplace. So there's a tendency for staff, employees to dislike their workplace, place of work or wherever, organization and all that. That is what I'm looking for. So now, this was recently, let's look for where it is. So it looks more like, let's look at here, providing support to employees, give them the confidence to perform their jobs better and the motivation to stay with the organization, can therefore enhance employee motivation and retention through developing skills and all that. These conditions are inherent to link. Okay, so that's not still what I'm looking for. Why? So while it seems likely that employee reactions to their job characteristics could be affected by a predisposition to view their work, grammar, their work environment negatively. Okay, so let me take that again. While it seems that while it seems likely that employees' reactions to their job characteristics could be affected by predisposition, so like a perspective to their work environment or what they have been exposed to, no evidence exists, no study exists to support this hypothesis. So there's an hypothesis that there's a tendency for workers to dislike their work environment. That's what it means. So now, very instructively, this one says no study has been found to support this hypothesis. That is what we have in the passage. So, and this one says research has shown that staff has its tendency to leave their workplace. You can see it's very simple. If you know that, what would be your answer?
Not giving.
No, no,
No.
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 So
No.
yeah, so a lot of people said no. Yeah, can I hear from the person that said not given? What is your rationale before?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I wanted. Not wait. Let me check. Is no, sir. Sorry.
Okay,
It
that was a
contradicts the
slip up.
statement.
Okay, so because it's opposite. So research has not shown, no evidence
Yes,
exists. Okay, okay.
yes.
So now
Ebuka
what?
Muta.
So I'm going to mute everyone again. Sorry. Now, what we have here is that, so now how to think through, once you find the past this question, you can also rearrange it. You say research has shown that staff have a tendency. If that information is in the passage, it is yes. If the claim of the writer is that research has not shown, okay, that is a no. If there's something about tendency to leave workplace, but there is no mention of studies at all, or you can't just say it is yes or no. You will go for not given. Okay, so for whosoever was tempted to pick not given there. All right, so let's go to question 34. So since I know that their answers, they are in order, so I know already that I just have to clear all these. The answers I'm looking for any time from now is not here, they're not here. Okay, so I'm safe to come down and disregard any other thing up there. Okay, all right. So an improvement in working conditions, and job security makes staff satisfied with their jobs. Okay. Now, if there is an improved work environment and job security, staff are satisfied with their job. Okay. So that is what the statement has said. So you want to look for security and job improvement. Yeah, this is important. Improvement in work. So this will point us to whatsoever. Is there any improvement? So it will be yes if the writer claimed that once there is an improvement in the working condition and job security, staff will stay, there will be low turnover, or there will be a high rate of retention, okay? So now let's look for wherever we can find that in the passage. So there's a strong, let's just say, there's a strong link between the perception of employees and work environment. They talk about it. Now, still, that's not what we are looking for. Okay, these are just waste of time. Okay, guys, so you can see this working conditions and job security. So now I'm going to read around that statement, all right? So proposes that people have two major types of need: extrinsic, related to the content, work they perform, okay, rather than work itself. These include working conditions and job security, okay? So they've mentioned working condition, job security. When these factors, now you have to be careful. So when this here is linking us back to these two, you can see it's plural. So it's talking about working conditions and job security. So when working conditions and job security are unfavorable, okay, job dissatisfaction may result. So when there is when there is no job security and the work condition is bad, okay, job dissatisfaction may result. Okay, that is the information. Let's read forward. Significantly though, just fulfilling these needs does not result in satisfaction, but only in the reduction of dissatisfaction. Okay, significantly though, just fulfilling this. So if there is a good work condition and security, okay, it does not result in satisfaction. Okay, wow, confuse people, but only in the reduction of dissatisfaction. So having this in place, so having job security and job what's it called, good working environment, the information we have in the passage is that having those good things does not result in satisfaction. Okay, does not result in satisfaction. It can reduce the dissatisfaction. So that this is the information we are looking for. Okay. Wow, I hope you could see that when you were doing your question, treating your own. Now, what would be your answer? I'm going to unmute you. Okay, so you've seen information in the passage. What would be your answer?
A yes.
Is it no?
No.
It's not
No.
A
giving. No.
yes.
It's given.
No.
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 It contradicts.
No.
It's a no.
No.
This is not giving.
Okay,
No.
so we are
No.
yes, we are no,
The answer is no.
we are
A
not.
The
yes.
answer is no. I also chose
The
not
answer
giving.
is no.
All right, thank you for your response. Okay, thank you. Now I know that they first mentioned all this initially and all that. So you need to know what the writer has said. So when working condition, now listen to me and listen to yourself, okay? So when working condition is poor, that is unfavorable, okay, and there is lack of job security, assuming we could write it out you and see and compare them. So job dissatisfaction may result, okay, but they are not talking about dissatisfaction now. They're talking about satisfaction. There is another information here that talk about satisfaction, okay? So significantly though, just fulfilling these needs, okay, like having a good working condition and job security does not result in satisfaction. So an improvement in working condition and job security does not make staff satisfied with their jobs. That is what we have in the passage. Okay, a good working condition does not make staff, to stay in their that is essentially what we have. But what we have in this place is the opposite. Okay, so there's nothing about not giving here. All right, we can fight later. Okay, we'll fight later anyway. But yeah, so let's agree that is no. Okay, now let's look at question 35. Question 35. You can see yes, no, not giving is it's very cheap. It's one. So I know that the answer was taken from here. So I'm going to scroll down. Okay. So we got the answer from the last one here. So we have one more question. So it's likely here and here. Okay. So staff should be allowed to choose when they take breaks during the workday. All right. So now I'm going to take you to where the information is actually. So if you concentrate here, okay, if you concentrate on this place. Now, let's look at what they said. This guy said, recommended several actions that can be adopted at the organizational level to retain good staff, okay, as well as assist in balancing work, blah, blah, blah. Those particularly appropriate to the hospitality industry include, so allowing adequate breaks during the working day. So you can see the information is just here, okay? Staff functions that involve families and provide, but this is what we are looking for, okay? Yeah, so, all right. So staff should be allowed, employees should be allowed to choose, now, this is important, to choose when talking about time, they take breaks during the working day, okay? So this is the statement. Now, this is what we have in the passage. Those particularly appropriate. So one of the action that has been recommended, this is should, okay? So Derry said staff should, okay, should be allowed. So what this guy said is that staff should be allowed adequate breaks during the working day. That's what he said, okay? Don't get confused. Staff, this is recommended. That is the should there, okay? Staff should be allowed adequate breaks during the working day. Now, this one says staff should be allowed to choose when they take breaks during the working day. So I want to hear you choose your answer and the rationale.
It's no.
Not
Answer
giving.
is no.
It's not
Okay.
given.
Not giving.
It's not
It's
given.
not given. It's not in the
Okay.
passage.
No, it's no. Because
It's not given.
Information about choosing is not there.
All right. So yeah. So what you should put out. Okay. So I'm going to mute everyone again. I can see people are chatting there as well. I'll check the chat and see what they've said. Not given, okay. All right. Thank you, Dr. Adbilioba. Thank you so much for that encouragement. So now, staff should be allowed to choose. So the guy said staff should be allowed adequate breaks during the working day. So it will be yes if staff should be allowed to choose when they can take their breaks. Okay? It will be yes if that is what we have here. It will be no if it says staff should be allowed to go on breaks but should not choose or cannot choose when to go on break. You can see why this word has changed the meaning of what we have in the passage. Okay, when, and this when. Now, they never mentioned that staff should be allowed to choose when, but staff should be allowed to take breaks during working day. So making these statements not given. We don't have enough information. It is impossible for us to say that the writer actually meant that apart from giving them breaks, they should also be allowed to choose when to take those breaks. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording because of people who would have access to this later, but I'm going to take your response after I've stopped the recording, okay? As to what confused you wherever. So let me stop.